Welcome back. It is time for the third match of the night here at ESL Pro League Season 5, match day number 13. We've got OpTic, we've got Rush. Is this going to be the bout of the century, Vendetta?
I mean, some might claim it is. I think Dace talked about it, right before we came on, that this is definitely the highlight of the season.
Did he?
Yeah, surprised me a bit, caught me off guard, but no, it might be interesting, right? The OpTic obviously in turmoil. We know now finally who they're actually going to use as their fifth, Freakazoid. So familiar face in him, but it's still going to be a tall task for Rush.
Tall task indeed.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at that roster on the OpTic side. You will note that Freakazoid, Mr. Ryan Abadir, there at the bottom, taking the place of what was Peacemaker last week, and Hiko before that.
Yeah.
And then to his left and right, respectively, Mixwell, Naf, Rush, and Tarek.
And do notice that OpTic, over the course of the year, or over the course of, roughly a year, I've actually just been going through XC9 members at this point. So I'm expecting next week to either have Semphis or Sean Gare standing in.
It's not unheard of in here in ACS.
Yeah, no, I mean, you guys share the care for sure. Like the players are,
provocatively dirty. But
it's a Care Bear.
Let's take a look at Team Rush now. Not as known of names: Lil Man, Blade, Toy, Silent, and Mr. Poyo. Silent, no stranger to the top of North American Counter-Strike. He's kind of bounced back and forth between there and the Premier level. Yeah. But is this the roster that he finally sees fruition post the NRG era?
It's tough to say, really. I think his initial statement when joining the team was, finally I'm going to be back in Pro League. That seemed to be his main motivation for it. And I guess, if you can find someone you get along with, and you can work off of that. And it's not like the other guys, Toy, Lilman, they've been around for a while. They know kind of the level they're getting into. But I'm not sure how far you can take it with a lineup like that.
Well, we're going to go into Inferno first. So this is back-to-back Inferno matches. Already today's weird. It's not even Friday, and it's definitely not the 13th. So it's just a little strange. But with these two teams on Inferno, is it safe to say that OpTic has the firepower in this matchup?
Yes, I think that's a safe bet. OpTic, even before, even considering the roster changes and whatnot, the core four of that team played Inferno a bunch of times, even though they haven't necessarily won a whole lot the last boutings they've had on a map. They've played versus top-tier opponents. That's not going to be the case today. I think they're going to have a much easier time getting around with it. So the fact that they're playing with Freakazoid, not going to be too much of a detriment. We know that Freakazoid can contribute as well in terms of just bringing fragging power to the team, and especially in a much bigger way than what we saw from Peacemaker last week. So I think OpTic are looking good going into this. They should be a better team just pound for pound when you compare them to Rush, regardless of map.
Regardless. All right. Well, that's pretty confident. Now, we're going to go into a quick analysis here with @DeBearsNiner on Twitter, who's going to break down OpTic's Inferno.
Thank you, guys. Welcome back to another Stromberg Strategeries. We're going to take a look at OpTic on Inferno. We're going to see Hiko. He's going to play more of a support role to Tarek. We're going to take a look at B and see Hiko's Nade Prime, Tarek, Spotter. Hey guys, I'm looking over here. Nothing's happening yet. It's cool, Hiko. Chill back. Wait it back a little bit. Hiko's switching from nade for flash. You have a flash ready, so obviously if he takes a shot, it's time to fall back. Simple, guys. Now, this round, Mixwell does get a fast pick off of Get Right, so it's a 5-on-4 in favor of OpTic. Okay, Hiko nading. He naded, so Tarek can fall back into position. I always get those two mixed up. They look the same. Who knows? Okay, so Tarek up in a passive angle. He sees a person. He falls back, all right? But he doesn't. He keeps re-peeking. He eventually gets a kill. Okay, Tarek, great. 5-on-3. Fall back, Tarek. Please, fall back. No, you're going to keep re-peeking? Okay, you're going to get blind and died? That's cool. Why not? You have a 5-on-3 situation. Why keep fighting? Just sit back. Now you leave Hiko in a really bad spot. Slow rotations from OpTic. Hiko, I mean, if you get one kill, that's great. If not, I'm sorry for your team for putting you in that bad spot. Mixwell gets another kill. There's 10 seconds left, okay? So the time's running low. Rush is finally rotating. Again, so they just plant the bomb with 3 seconds left. So a couple things you could kind of keep in mind. OpTic was up 5-on-3 in that round, okay? don't push. Don't keep re-peeking. Hold passive angles. Maybe send one person towards B because, again, in the 5-on-3, Tark did spot people. Hiko did hear people. So maybe cheat a person from A to help out B, but the rotations were slow. The teamwork wasn't there, and it felt like a lot of 1-on-3 situations in favor of NIP, and they end up taking the round as Rush comes through this area, and he just gets popped by Freiburg, who everyone says should get replaced. But anyways, new round. We say Mixwell. Now I like this round because OpTic likes to put 3 people B or towards Banana a lot. Is he naffed by the sandbags, and you have another support in the back who's just kind of tossing nades as Mixwell is continuously taking off. Look at him. He's already down to like 2 bullets in his AWP. He keeps spamming the wall. This is going to be annoying on this map because, as you've seen, Hen1 and Mixwell, they just keep spamming the wall, keep spamming the wall, keep spamming the wall. As Mixwell, I think he gets 4. He tags 4 shots in the wall this round. Nice play. And when OpTic lacks in their teamwork, as you've been seeing a lot lately, they make up for individual skill. Every one of their players in their team can make plays, Hiko included. Everyone's great playmakers. It's just that if they come together a little better, you could see them break to the top of the team because they can do it. They have the skill. They just need to mold together, guys. Come on. Back to you, Stunna.
Thank you, Eric. And honestly, I think he just coined a new term there. The slowtation. So it's not a fast rotation. It's not a brisk walk down Banana. It's a slowtation.
Slowtations, man. They're oftentimes a big issue for teams as well.
Absolutely. Now, before we throw it over to the commentators, give me a quick prediction here on Inferno.
Quick prediction. I'm still going to side with OpTic, even with all the turmoil and whatnot. I don't think it can fall this far away from their original level. Really, that's how easy it is.
Yeah, it's that easy, and it's broken down that quickly. But standing by are Blue and Dazed. We're going to bring you all the action.
Yeah, thank you very much, Senna. And we are going right back into Inferno yet again here now. We've barely seen it. Now we're going to see it twice in one day, and it's going to be Rush versus OpTic, the new move up from the Mountain Dew League in the last season there. We're going to see how they fare against the currently struggling team, of course, looking for a 5th. And tonight, well, they found Freakazoid, and we'll have to see how he pairs up just jumping into this roster on a whim, it would seem.
Yeah, I think Rush has 3 wins on the season now. They took out Ryu Squad, I believe.
What's up?
I think they beat Ryu Squad 2-0. And I think they played Inferno against them too and got a win in one of them, if I'm not mistaken. Other win was coming from Winter Fox where they split the series, I believe.
Yeah.
But having said that, OpTic has a lot of experience on Inferno. They have a lot of players who kind of know how to play Inferno at a high level, a lot of experience on it. So I think this is going to be a very tough matchup for Rush.
This was actually, if I recall correctly, one of OpTic's better maps until it actually got removed from the active duty pool.
Do you know if Rush is an org or is it just like them?
I think it's an org, but it's not like.
Because there's open teams that are sponsored, so I'd assume.
I think it's an org, but it's obviously not a very well-known org. They're, from the conversations I've had, they're like a pretty casual org, so they're just like, yeah, we'll sponsor you. Just put our logo on the profile and you're good to go. I don't know, really. But, yeah, it worked out for them. So on this, at the beginning of this one, they're going to be starting off on T side, and it's actually really split up to start this one off. We've got Silent and Little Man over here inside of the apartment. In the meantime, you got 2 more guys pushed all the way up Banana with the bomb sitting just behind the apartment guys. OpTic really passive about this one, but interestingly, they've gone for a 4-1 split with pretty much everybody sitting on A and leaving only Tarek to defend the B site.
Yeah, triple porch stack with 1 in pit, who has a kit and a smoke. So smoke comes out. I'm not sure if it's Arch or what, but it's going to be a B fake, and then Halls jump out with bomb, and OpTic bites 100%.
So this is going to leave it open. Naf, though, stays behind, so he may actually be able to catch these guys. And he sees them in the site here. Silent, where you at there?
No.
And no, Naf is going to be able to spin back around. Blade gets caught as well. Now Rush battling his way back into the site. All of a sudden, the guys from Rush had a huge advantage, and they're down to just 2 players left alive. Now 1, now 0, as Rush picks up yet another kill, and they pull off that retake after they made a huge mistake in overestimating the B play. Rush's plan had worked, but then the execution was just not there at all.
They worked to perfection. I mean, OpTic bit so hard off that fake. I mean, they got into the site, they got pick control, everything was looking great until Silent whiffed.
So OpTic get their start that they wanted, and Rush are not actually going to go into a bye, more than likely. Again, just waiting for the usual third round to go into that one. Not like a smoke or anything, though, they could use to try and flood into one of the two sites and find a plan in that avenue at least. And Mixwell, well, he's out in the open here in the window room. He's gone hunting. Might just find a player on the bridge. There's not really much else seen from alt-mid here. And OpTic, I mean, they're showing a lot of confidence just in this first round here. You know, like even peeking out the mid choke point, wanting to take duels against these guys. They just smoke out over here on B. They don't peek it at all. And they're just waiting for contact at this point over there on that site.
Yeah, and they're just going to group up B and just hope they could, you know, get the bomb down here. That's really best case scenario. I have trouble seeing them win this round, though.
Yeah, as they all kind of group together, and they are indeed just going to try to flush all of their players in at once. They hear it coming from a mile away, though. 2, 3, 4 for none. The last one standing here is going to be Blade. He doesn't get very far at all. It's a nice 3-2 split of kills for the two guys on OpTic playing towards B, and no problem at all picking up the second round.
Yeah, just a very simple crossfire, really easy round to win there for OpTic. But now's going to be the tough part. AK, armor, also like pretty good amount of nades for Rush here. So OpTic, we'll see if they do anything interesting, like push B. Looks like Tarek's lining up for some type of a smoke. We'll see where it lands.
And we can see actually maybe a little bit of a battle going on over here towards Banana early on. In fact, Blade, what are you doing? Ooh, just barely gets that smoke onto the ground before the Molotov ends up burning him away, but still loses 75% of his health pool, and the response nade that he tosses back out goes far too deep. He's not going to find any impact whatsoever. Now Rush are looking to get at least 2 players over here into the apartment halls, but there's already resistance coming back over here. Nicely found by Littleman at the very least. Now Nap's going to get to hold things up. They do trade it out, though, in their favor. With that flank that came in there from Mixwell, he was able to handle things quite nicely. Now it's a 4v3 again, with most of Rush kind of being disjointed here now. Silence pushing in on his own towards the A side around the Arches side. You've got Toy pushed up pretty far at Banana, and Blade's kind of playing with Silent here, but obviously pretty far disconnected, so there just doesn't really seem to be a plan currently as the bombs is down just outside of T spawn. These last two are just going to try to make it an attempt to do some damage, but more than likely it will end up being a third round for OpTic.
I mean, Mixwell and Naf are very, very low. This CT spawn flank is going to come from Blade, and he's going to be kind of the key. So bomb down T steps. We'll see. He is going to go to A. That's a smart choice, considering they do have about 50 health between them.
And going out as he does double guess that there, but oh, he second guesses himself too much, and that allows for Mixwell just 8 HP to pick up the frag onto Blade. Now this is Toy 1v4 set against the world essentially, as he will attempt to push back in. Smoke to try and cross off one of these angles here, more than likely towards the pit if he wanted to use it, along with a flashbang. But he is trying to keep his anonymity about him. As he does move in, though, Mixwell yet to spot him. He tries to peek on that box corner there, but no one is obviously sitting in that position, so Naf takes him down pretty quickly after that.
Yeah, and that's worst case scenario. I mean, they give up 2 AKs. OpTic lives with 4 alive. Now they're going to be on another eco. That's as bad as it gets of a start if you're a Rush. So OpTic's economy is looking really, really good, and they opt to buy here. They actually do buy. If we could take a look at OpTic's money real quick. See, they have enough money to buy the next round, right? So even if, what's the best case scenario here if you're Rush, right? Well, definitely not going down 4v5. But you got to think about it from Rush's point of view. Even if they win this round, are they really going to win it clean? Probably not. Say they win it with 1 or 2 alive off this fully bought round, right? Then all of a sudden, OpTic's still going to be able to buy the next round, and you're going to have a pretty crappy buy if you're Rush. You're still only going to get, 2 guys live, they'll drop guns. Like, you're not going to have the best utility, right? And then if OpTic wins that round, the following round, all of a sudden, you're going to be saving back to 1,400.
Now already we see Rush being brought down to just 2 players, and it's all OpTic that's made the aggressive movements on CT side. That is pushing out. They've gone hunting. Akis is basically waiting for someone to crawl through Mexico there and look to see if he can catch him moving out on the outside of it. But no, now Mixwell just walks past Akis without him even realizing it. Takes down his teammate. Now Akis is 1v5 with very little damage done at all. In fact, I think overall, finally this position will work out and I'll get the kill on a freak zone, but Mixwell's right there to trade it. I think if I can pull up the scoreboard for a second, actually we'll see it when they refresh the round here, but yeah, look, there's 3 kills overall that has been found just in these first few rounds, so OpTic really only losing 1 or 2 guys per round overall, and it's just allowing them to get so much cash flow.
Yeah, but it's just I don't understand the call to buy there, you know, because you're not putting yourself in a position where you could win consecutive rounds unless you win that round like really cleanly, you know. So sometimes even if you buy in that situation, you win a round, you win it with like one person left, they just buy and win the next round, and you dig yourself like a huge hole. So you know it's going to be 5-0 OpTic here. Just Blade rushing up B by himself. Through a Molotov. B control is down. Deep smoke. Silent's going to go through halls. They have 2 players A, but, you know, Naf knows how to hold this. And so he's going to... You see how he uses his nades? That's because they have the B control. So he knows as long as people don't swarm him and he gives up, like, pick control, they're going to win because they're going to have B control. They're going to have their teammates rotated back here. They have to worry about quick flanks and things like that. Like, that's how you want to play it when you take that B control. You want to be very conservative in how you, like, challenge and whatnot over a day.
Well, Mixwell may have himself a nice little smooth buffet of kills here if he plays it right. Unfortunately, misses the first volley, so we do see Tarek trying to swing into it here too, but it's actually Naf from the backside that just taps away and gets 3 kills back to back to back, basically finishing off the handiwork from Naf and Tarek there, and Freak catches Silent on an attempt to retreat out towards mid. Still around for OpTic, a little bit more damage being done by Rush, but again, ultimately just not a whole lot of impact here considering how much money the CTs already have. Yeah,
and they already get a double up setup. And we'll see. I want to see if they keep putting that B pressure, if they keep taking control of deep B.
Yeah, you can see the nice play here again from Naf as things got a little bit dodgy there around the end.
Not only you see the nice play from Naf, and then you see the peanut brain play from Tarek. Running straight into P250s in one-shot range. Honestly, you probably just wanted frags there. Let's be honest.
There's not a you can tell like with how aggressively OpTic are playing this too that they are just trying to close out of these guys and not give them any room to think or anything. Mixwell though actually caught. Now he's gonna try to get the up out in time, but it won't work out. That's an up down on the ground. Naf thankfully still has a Molotov and he's close to that one, so he can prevent them from recovering that as he moves up pretty quickly and pushes them back out from the T steps.
Yeah, so Tarek, this is really smart by them. You know, Tarek could play B, and he could probably get a kill here, and then also play retake. Tarek's a really good opera, by the way. He's a really, really good hybrid. So you can kind of do whatever. And then you kind of just have like 3 players towards A. You have Freak in the arch. He could have a flash out for Rush. So you have a pretty nice setup here if you're OpTic and kind of hedge your bets.
Yeah, but at the moment, Tarek's basically sitting and waiting here as smoke deployments are going to come out over here onto the A-bombs. Like, keep in mind, last time they attempted a fake, it actually worked pretty well, and they bit into it. This time, though, doesn't seem like it's going to be the case, and Tarek just gets a free peek against Silent here. Now, he's going to get pushed back. That'll give credence to allow for Rush's members to move back in, but actually, no. The Molotov timing was almost flawless there as well to hold them back for even longer. Now the cavalry's here. Everybody except for Naf is fully rotated in, and he was just the insurance policy in case it was a fake. Tarek sitting up on the platform. They're not really going to try to push back in, and he's still got good control, finally being traded out, but they also boosted Freakazoid back up where he was able to claim 1 kill. After everything was said and done, though, it was still left into an even 2v2, and Rush, really aggressive, swings out there. He finds Akis, but he gives himself away far too quickly, and now Naf is going to be on his own, but he's not going to waste any time either. The flash already over the top. Doesn't really mean a whole lot of connection, though, as both of the remaining members of Rush are basically just going to sit here and play this together. Nav is looking for any opening that he can get, and at a very rapid pace, even tapping the ball to try to get Akis to swing back out. He got him, but didn't connect onto the kill. Gets that one, tries to transfer the spray, but Little Man is there for the trade out to allow Rush to finally go up onto the board.
Yeah, and now this is where OpTic is in great position to win this round, this half, like pretty huge. They have a lot of money, and just like I said, that's a good setup, right? Tarek gets that kill. You can fall back, play retake. You know, it's a 4v5. They ended in a 1v2, and now they're in position to break Rush's economy. And they have to be feeling good about how this game is going so far. Rush, on the other hand, it did look like they were well drilled. You know, they had the double pit smokes. They had a nice little fake towards B, so they know their smokes. They kind of know, you know, like the basics of the map. So that's definitely like a good sign, right, that they've practiced.
And Naf being challenged here in the long haul early on to bring him down to 33 HP. He's going to give up his position, kind of fall back to the pit to play him there.
That's one thing I don't like about how when Naf plays Hall, he likes to smoke out the end sometimes. And boiler control is so easy in this game, or not in this map, this iteration of it, because you don't have to look to your right. So, I mean, the Hall smoke, like, it just really doesn't do much. Because you get boiler every time as a T so easily. With just, like, 1 Molotov, you could run up. You could take control within 15 seconds. Like, every single round, pretty much. So, I just don't like that smoke because it's not even delaying them from boiler control. You're literally just delaying the steps. That's it. It just doesn't make much sense to me. I think, that was very popular in the old Inferno to throw that because it kind of delayed that boiler control as well. But not anymore. It just doesn't. Rush gets aggro onto the boiler pick, takes out Akis.
Mixwell is also still safely waiting back over here in the little cubby position here too, and he will have his chance for a free peek in a second. He goes for it though, and he catches Little Man with a nade in hand. Little Man unfortunately was not even able to finish off the frag onto Naf in the meantime, and now Toy is trying to sneak his way past Freakazoid, and they're sitting directly on top of each other. And Toy's going to end up getting the better of him. He does check that spot. So he'll take him down. The bomb is now going to route its way over here, too. He should be able to hear Tarek coming for the other end of this, but Tarek no longer has an op to play with. Just an M4. Gets that kill. Dies behind the crypt. He gets tagged from the op. Down to 1 HP. He's retreating now, but a nice shot from Silent.
The thing?
Prevents him from going away. Yeah. I think he was able to take him down just over top of it there. Yep. So he eliminates him, and that does allow for just enough time for Rush to be able to find the plant. A little bit of fun on the B site. With Silent also catching out the first player that rotates in to try and retake this here. That's Mixwell going down. And this is the same position that Rush played in the last retake, too. They're both just going to sit together in the garden and work together on this. So with Naf already being down at 7 HP, it's not going to give them a whole lot of room for mistakes here as they do push back up. Blade's allowed to sit directly close, and he can just spray over on top of the bomb. He's trying to support his teammate to the best of his abilities, but Naf gets that first kill. Silent's still able to spray through. He's looking for this first shot, but he's missed it. Now they know where he's at. He gets the correction. Now trying to swing back in. Less than a second left, but he misses it. And although he gets the knife, it doesn't matter as OpTic have already won the round.
Wow, that was pretty hectic. That round though comes down to OpTic just on that retake. What was that? 3v2 or 4v2? I wasn't sure.
It was 2v2 when they actually went into the site, I think.
Yeah,
so,
it ended up in 2v2, but I believe it was 4v2, right? After Tarek got that kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they do a good job on that 2v2. They're weak as well. So just good teamwork, communication. Blade kind of gave up his spot maybe a little bit too early, I think. The bomb wasn't tapped or anything. They still kind of had to worry about Emo. I think they only knew that Silent was there, and that kind of hurt their chances of winning that round. Now they just have Silent with this op. He's going to have to play, pretty aggressive, try to make it 4v5. He's actively looking for a pick, and OpTic should know this, though.
Silent is going to push his way back in early along with the rest of his team again. There's that quick boiler and choke point control for them to utilize here. Little Man already having himself at the edge of the long haul too, just scouting for intel out on the platform and up towards Graveyard, but they can hear him hopping around up there, so they're just going to deploy the Molly to hold them back for a few extra seconds. Same thing being done back over here towards the old car position to stop them from pushing out towards Banana. Tarek actually might challenge that here too, at the very least shift over towards Sandbags. Toy's going to be waiting up on top. He actually does great damage to both of them. He's only going to be able to finish off Blade for right now, but Toy may move in with the rest of his team in a second and try and just overwhelm Tarek and some of the others, but there's the smoke out. In fact, they read this pretty well. And now this is going to delay things for Rush even more so, as they're already low on time. They do just go through that smoke, but there's another Molly sitting in Freak's hands, ready to delay this as soon as he peeks out and sees it. They know that the presence is here. No Molotov, though. It comes out a little bit late, but disjointed push overall from Rush is still going to allow for that Molotov to work. It was kind of Little Man just out on his own, 5 to 10 feet ahead of the rest of his team. So now they're all stuck back. The rotations are pretty much already here. They've got mid choke point held over there on A as well. Dirty peek for Mixwell. He's just going to get a second one. He knows Toy sitting back in the corner, so they'll go in for the push. P2 just holding him down while Tarek finishes off with the spray.
That was quick. You know exactly what Silent was doing, though. It was pretty obvious that he was just waiting. Mixwell just pre-fires it very, very nicely. And so far, I mean, this is a bit of a slaughter, Blue.
Yeah. Tad one-sided here as OpTic. I think the experience in general, individual prowess is shining through a little bit more than what Rush brings to the table here. Heading into the next round here, Rush still having enough cash flow at the very least to buy into it, but opening CT flashbang is almost perfect against Blade there, and he just gets lost in the open to allow for the first shot. Tarek, though, bad timing on his own push, but he's got Rush directly behind him, and although Little Man attempts to jump, it's not going to work. Rush ends up with a double kill. The guys from Rush already down to 2. We're not even like 30 seconds into the round yet, and it's already gone down this dire. As the remaining 2, they're going to make an attempt over here towards the A-bomb site, but they're already crunching them outside of Boiler. Silent taking about half his HP away now. Everything combined after that Molotov, and Mixwell just patiently waiting in case they go arch side. Good hold from Silent at the very least, picking up 1. And Toy will find a second here, but it's left to a 1v2. Toy actually getting good damage on the Rush, so he has an opportunity to salvage this now since Freak is still rotating from Banana out into mid now. With a minute left on the clock, they have kind of an infinite. He has kind of an infinite amount of time to play this the way he wants to, but really passively right now, just holding into that position. He needs to make a decision whether he wants to split this or just go forward on towards A.
And he knows Russia's weak, so he's mainly worried about Freakazoid. But if he doesn't see Freakazoid coming, he's probably going to end up towards A. Rush just hiding in the graveyard.
He's on the steps right now, so Toy is not going to be able to spot him close up. He'll have to actually push up towards the steps themselves. And as he does move closer, he does decide to just go directly here towards A. And time's still kind of working in his favor currently as he's checking out all these angles and whatnot, but in a moment he is going to move to a rush. Would be able to see him, or at the very least he'll just put the bomb down because of the low timer. That'll let Rush peek out, and there you go. Easy shots for him to close it out and put OpTic up to, I believe, 8 now.
Yep, and a nice 4K after Tarek goes down in halls, trades those 2 kills.
And it's even set up to where they allow Tarek to basically go right down there. So pause is going to be called from Rush here. Very much so a needed one, as they're pretty much on the huge losing streak, and there's no sign of that turning around anytime soon.
Yeah, there's really not. OpTic just looking just a lot better. I mean, let's be honest, they have a lot better players, a lot better team than Rush, even if they do only have 4 players. Rush has been struggling quite a lot so far in this league. Not quite as much as some other teams, but, you know, still struggling nonetheless. I wonder how relegation is going to work.
Well, it's still they haven't said if there's going to be any updates to it, but it still works the same way as normal. So the bottom team, the lowest team is just out entirely. They have no chance for redemption. And then the second and third worst teams will play against the second and third best Premier teams for move up.
Okay.
And then as well, the team that wins Premier just goes directly up. If I remember correctly, that's how Rush got in here. Is they won.
Yeah. Isn't it weird how Rush won Premier, and they're, you know, whatever record, like 3-8, 3-9.
I mean, that like always.
And then LG was what, like 3rd or 4th, right?
Yeah.
I think they were 3rd, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
I think they were 3rd in Premier, and they're, you know, doing great.
If I remember correctly, Bach would probably know a lot more
Bach
on this.
remembers everything.
Yeah.
It's like a mini Thorin.
There was like an upset, I think, in the online like playoff stage for Premier last season, and that's how that happened. I think it was either Rush or Muffin Lightning or someone like that ended up beating them. So it was a big surprise when that ended up happening. Well, again, we're back into it, but as you can see, not a whole lot happening here for Rush as OpTic are just moving out and crushing them at every turn. They may get away with a plant here, though, as they got a little bit too aggressive. Silent's like, all right, if I can at least get the extra money for my team, I'll escape with that. And he does, but no frags, unfortunately. It's a full 5-man alive round.
R-dubs. Mixwell's like, this is going to be the greatest statistical performance of all time.
My profile will look through the roof.
Yeah.
Look insane. But yeah, nothing really going on there. Is once again the experience really showing, along with the individualistics, like I said before, for OpTic. An 8-round advantage here. The extra money, at least allowing for some extra utility and whatnot, and some leftover cash to be brought in this time for the Rush roster. But we've seen this time and time again, and they've yet to really make a huge impact. We need to see some consistency. Mixwell at the very least gets flashed early on here. Well, he did have a good lineup, it seemed, on towards Silent there. It was just a little bit off. So he is going to miss his first attempt at a kill. Meanwhile, over here on Banana, it does look like we're going to get in combat pretty quickly. And they don't think that Blade has gotten up that far that quickly, although he kind of overstays his aggression and goes out. But the same can be said for Rush there. Rush, the player, that is. He kind of swings back out, and apparently Akis killed Little Man somewhere along the way. I don't know how that happened, but it makes it even again, as now we're back down to a 3v3.
Yeah, and Mixwell in a nice spot to, you know, he could just kill like one person if they come up. He's actually going to get very aggressive, 2 HP. Not at all afraid to go aggro. I think that scope, though, could, you know, if anybody was like alt mid or boiler or anything like that, they would know exactly where he is because of that scope. I think that was a mistake. I know it's not going to matter, but I do think that. He's looking for if they go underneath it. Yep. And walks out, gets the kill on his side.
Nap is a good angle to shut down Toy. Ooh, Toy as well. Looked like he was going to be able to get away behind the corner there, but he does get taken down, and now he's finding himself another battle versus Silent. Nicely played by Nap there. He's going in and out around the corner. Akis now has to clutch 1v2 with 14 HP. Both of the OpTic players are full. The only thing they don't really have is a lot of utility, but even that changes. They got 2 Molotovs, so they're going to swing back in. He does see the op ahead of time, and unfortunately Naf kind of walks right into it. But Tarek gets the correction pretty quickly after that. They're not worried about these 4 deaths considering the way the map is going right now. They've got a 9-round lead. I mean, Rush overall is just not showing a whole lot of their anti-ecos or anything like that. Plus, they've got a boatload of cash anyway.
Yeah, I mean, OpTic's just playing super loose. Like, they're slowly just each one of them taking individual duels that they wouldn't normally take against like better teams, but you know, they feel like they have this game won.
Yeah, and again, the aggression is really showing for them too, which has led to a couple mistakes here and there, but with
yeah, exactly, but they just don't.
They just don't care. Yeah, they're just giving the guys on Rush like no respect at all here. Silent, however,
Shoot the wall, Tarek.
is going to open up this time. He's not going to go for it. We'll see in a second though. He might do it on a bit of delay, but I think he wants to wait for the peak first since Toy's holding the close angle here. But Rush are kind of frozen after they get these 3 guys lined up through Banana.
Yeah, well, they should wait. I mean, they made it 4v5 right off the bat, so you can just kind of chill. See if they give you anything else, see if they try to get aggressive and make a mistake.
Down to 1:15, so still plenty of time to play with there. And they do resolve to pretty much pull everyone back since there is no presence spotted on the OpTic side here at all in the staging area outside of Banana. They'll change that. They're kind of just shifting in and out right now as they grab the bomb. They're going to deploy a little bit of utility into the bomb site. You know, smoke on the cross. Molotov, I think, over there towards the new box. Try and get them back out. Freak just swings out through the CT smoke to try and challenge a little bit. He does spot their players, but he only sees 2. So he kind of assumes, I think, at that point that it may have been going the other direction, but the A guys haven't really seen a whole lot either, as they're just split, again, evenly 2-2 across the map. They haven't overcommitted towards either A or B just yet, as Rush has actually been doing a pretty good job of keeping everything a secret. They do have the 4 stack on Banana, though, and with time, you know, growing below the 30-second mark, they are going to have to go for this pretty quickly. Finally, their flashes and whatnot do go back in as they re-smoke the cross. Tarek is going to miss his first shot. Freakazoid coming back in for the correction, though he does pick up 1. Tarek goes down without any impact, and Toy gets the 2nd kill. Now, OpTic have to rotate back in, while Naf is pretty quick about his. Rush is still all the way over on A, and he has to deal with Akis, who is left over here to try and cut off the rotation. They won't spot him initially. Again, Naf just trying to spray through the glass wall there to see if he can hit anyone. I'm not sure if that's going to work out, but off the mark anyway, so it won't work out. And again, here comes Akis. He spotted Rush. He knows there's presence towards CT. He can call that to his teammates, especially now that the smoke has faded away. And they still have absolutely 0 clue that Akis is on the way. So down is going to go Rush. And for Naf here, now he's got a 1v4 set against him. Not even the option to save. That's finally the first time we're seeing Rush actually win a round, and it's not just, you know, scrapped together through a clutch either. They actually win it pretty cleanly.
Well, they have only won 2 rounds.
Yeah, that's poor choice of words there.
Oh, man, but all of a sudden, OpTic's economy doesn't even look great because they've just been playing pretty sloppy the past few rounds, right? So if they lose this round, you know, Rush could definitely end with 5. So, you know, Mixwell, he's got to tone it down a bit, man. Tone it down.
Well, we do have what seem to be, with the exception of Naf over there, more normal positions being taken up here at the beginning. Oh, scratch! Mixwell just goes down the T-steps. Rush is here. He's getting tagged from somewhere in alt mid, though, as you can see. He survives the encounter, though.
So good close range. Like, Rush, I don't know, he's so consistent. Just such a good player.
Yeah. And now, although he's brought down to 22 HP, he's given OpTic back the advantage here, and that's immediately probably going to cause some struggling here for Rush, as they're really bad at kind of coming up with the plan B, and they always seem to set themselves into a very basic play, which is easy to read. However, OpTic still continue to over-aggress, or it may not be fully necessary. Silent's going to be able to find Tarek there. Now, they're going to try to push their way back in. In fact, Blade has already put himself over there in the tree position, where he can just knock out Naf if he's not expecting it. He's going to try to jump back forward. He's not checking that. Oh! Naf with the swing headshot onto Blade. Just destroys him. And now OpTic have the advantage again. And what's even worse, Silent's already down at 13 HP. Toy's taking about 40 as well. Oh, both are playing like in this, at least right now, both are playing like in the same spot here too. This could throw them off a little bit, though. This is something that was done a little bit in the a while ago when we had the old Inferno, but they're not going to be fazed by that at all. They do see it coming, and it's an easy retake for OpTic to pick up to 11 now.
Wow, enough. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't really work when they Molotov triple and they know you're not triple, and then, you know. How much does it suck for Blade that he's, like, entry fragging, but he's 1 in 13? He's, like, the first one in at, like, 1 in 12. It's like, all right, nobody else will go in, fine. It's like, I'll go and die. Sucks.
Blade has seemed like the few times I watched him on LAN too, Blade kind of seems like one of the players that is going to get like discouraged pretty quickly.
Really?
Yeah. So I feel like when things start going south, he might be one of the first ones to bring it down to that attitude. right at the start, it is going to be him that goes down at the beginning of the round, too, just as we were talking about him. So just not leaving a whole lot of room for Rush to do much at all. They finally get a good deep smoke going back over here, and Mixel even has a little position there to see through it if they try to go up from T-spawn towards it. But
yeah, that's something that operators used to, or just players in general, used to sometimes do, right? You throw like a smoke that's like a little bit off, but then you know that they're going to be looking through like a gap or trying to take advantage of it, and you're just like ready for it.
not a whole lot of action going on
A lot
there.
of the time it works well on Inferno if you have porch control and you throw like a little bit of a botch smoke on Arch. So many people try to like go behind it and like, take a look at it.
Rush will be waiting again, just playing with Tarek here as he was boosted up on top, and there you go. The entire attempt, there's no flashbangs or anything like that from Rush, and they just get absolutely decimated going into the final round of the half.
Yeah, no. Did they even throw a flashbang?
I don't think so. If they did, it wasn't anywhere near there.
Smart.
There's a couple... Wasn't there a couple pretty good new flashbangs you can throw on this version, too? That, like, they can't even really see coming? Like, from the other side of the wall? I saw a couple people posting it. There's one that you can especially kill the guy down below a porch and Mixwell. Okay. Surprised for, like, you know, 2 seconds longer than he should have there. But Freak's just going to push back out. Silent's still looking around the corner there. Still traded actually pretty well for Rush currently. The problem is a lot of their guys took some extra damage. The bomb just went down here too. So Rush is calling for his teammate. You know, Terry, get the heck over here. The smoke is going to go out though, but this is going to bait Akis into just going out into the open against it.
Exactly what we were talking about.
And now Blade, he's able to retrieve the bomb, fall back a little bit here. And he's just going to make a run for it over towards A, but they're going to see this coming. So Tarek will split away from Rush and just head over towards A, and he's definitely going to win the race. Blade will make his attempt. Oh, is he actually going to go for the...
Sneaky.
Is he going to go for the 1-2 punch? Nope. So that could have worked out since he still has 50 seconds. But oh, okay, into library apparently instead of arches. Now he's probably going to go to B.
I would think so.
Let's see if Rush has kind of seen into this yet. Rush at the moment, I think, is still playing back over there inside of it. But yeah, he does read what's going on and suspects that possibility. So off of that, OpTic still close out the round relatively easily, and it's 13-2 on the half. Very, very dominant indeed for the legendary squad here now. We'll have to see if Rush have any fight left on the second half here in just a few minutes, or if it's going to be a quick map in the favor of OpTic.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, Mountain Dew League, and ESEA.
Welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, here to the ESL Pro League. We are well into our second match of the evening here between Rush and OpTic, and as many probably kind of would have seen coming, it's a pretty one-sided affair at the moment, with OpTic dominating 13-2 coming out of the first half. Them really only
Rush
winning.
is just getting warmed up.
Is that the case?
Up, man. Yeah, it's gonna be intense.
Second half.
The second half.
They just swing back on the CT side.
Easy.
Easy.
I mean, these guys are
16-13 confirmed.
16-13 Rush win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right.
I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, honestly, it's almost like a college team versus like a pro team. You know?
Yeah.
It really is. It's like a huge difference. And OpTic is definitely the pro team.
Oh, I had no clue. But yeah, just waiting for the players themselves to ready up, guys, and it does look like they just restarted it. So they're live on 3, and we should be jumping back into the game in a moment here. OpTic once more has full control of this situation. Rush, obviously, you're going to need the pistol round and a whole lot more than that to have any chance of getting back into this match, and we'll see if they can do it right here, right now from the start of the pistol. As they now jump onto the CT side, and OpTic go onto the T side, and I am actually somewhat interested to see what they're going to do on T side. If they're just going to try to bulldoze one of the sites.
Smokes, and Mixwell has the Tech 9 armor, so
they've gone for the raid boss buy. And early on, it's just going to be a bulldoze attempt, I think, up towards B here. And what's even worse is Rush went for a gamble stack on it. They've only got Blade here, so they're going to back up here. The nade goes in, and it does do about 50 damage to 2 players here on OpTic.
not even a good smoke.
And he's not able to tap onto anyone there on cross. I think he hits Rush or Mixel once or twice. Snap is even just moving in here now. Possibly a little bit too aggressive as a quick trade does come back in. They'll trade over here now. Naf has the Tech 9 in hand. Ake is picking up another kill. Naf battling against the wall, though. 2 quick headshots. He'll look for a third, but he goes down to Silent. Now it's actually just Freakazoid in a 1v2, but he battles his way out of the site where they'll be chased by Silent. Looking to hold that close angle as he pushes him. He needs 1 headshot, but he can't get it, and Rush will be picking up the pistol here.
I tell you, man, they're just getting warmed up. All right.
Is this it? Is this the turnaround?
This is the turnaround.
Well, they found the first round that's needed, and it's a bit of a brawl to do it. OpTic just rushed in towards B without any hesitation at all. And they almost win the round too, but Rush managed to hold on to things there on B. And with that, they're going to find their first path back into the plant was found, though, so I imagine OpTic's probably not going to invest too heavily into this one. They'll more than likely buy a smoke or 2 to just overwhelm one of the sites and look for, at the very least, the plant.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a Hall's jump, something like that. We'll see.
And it is looking like pretty much everybody shuffling their way up through alt mid pretty quickly. But Rush as well have a 3-2 split with, I think all 3 of them are playing over here towards Porch. They're working on stacking it up and whatnot here too, so.
Why do this, though? I mean, it'll probably work, but...
They're just going to be the spray now with all 3 of them playing into the Porch position. Nobody escaping it either, nor are we seeing any trades. So actually, it's relatively clean from Rush, and the stack over there towards Porch is working out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, they're probably eco. A lot of people do Hall's jump on that round, which is kind of like a bit of a counter to a setup like that, because a lot of time you can get in the pit and then start killing them from the pit. So that's why I don't think that's a good option for that round.
And now after that one, obviously we don't see the second plant, so money is going to be a little bit tight here for the OpTic guys. Obviously enough to get rifles and whatnot. Rush downgrades to a Galil so they can have a little bit of utility, but it's going to be Rush trying to push this time against them, and it pretty much fails utterly over there in the mid push at the very least. Mixwell again finds himself out in the open, but OpTic just battling the crossroads and win out the round, so they're up to 14.
Yeah, just a mid banana push, hoping to catch him off guard. OpTic very, very ready for it, though. Just wins the round very, very clean. So now Rush is kind of like, you know, pretty good buy. I mean, 2 umps, 2 M4s, and op onto Silent. Silent seems like he has an op every round. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
It really does seem that way. Either Mixwell dies and gives it to him, or he buys his own.
It's the one rule of joining this team. Rush and Mixwell have already found the first 2 kills here, which includes dropping the op of Silent down to the ground here. Little man's just going to be waiting over... Oh, that's your teammate. As Akis falls back a little bit. Little man is a little on edge right now, as he does have to kind of fall away from this one, looking towards like 3 different angles at once. But OpTic are happy with those 2 kills. They're not really going to be pushing into anything anytime soon. We've got Tarek testing the waters over there towards Boiler a little bit. Relatively unsuccessful, but he plays a really small angle, which he peeked out from, so he's able to escape and regroup with the rest of his team, who are now just going to waltz in towards B, where there is 0 presence from Rush at all. And they'll find the easy plant as a toy, and the rest of them are going to have to try and rotate it and make some attempt at a retake here. Or just outright save and try to win 11 rounds straight. And it doesn't look like they are opting for the save option, so while they'll have guns to a certain degree going into the next round, the fact that they now will have to win 11 rounds straight is probably going to be the rough part for them, and it is pretty much all but settled in the favor of OpTic Gaming here, as they are going to push up to match point.
Yeah, this is a pretty impossible task to come back if you're Rush, I think, from 15 to 4, especially when, you know, I mean, just outmatched almost at every facet, right? You have, there's not one player that you would take like on Rush before a player on OpTic, right? Like there's like a fantasy draft or anything like that. And it's just very, this just shows like the difference in level, the scoreline.
Well, the 2 out of 3 players on Rush that attempted to save do manage to make it out of the round. So those that did save, I think, are going to donate a few guns over, as we can see a few UMPs for Aegis and Blade. Silent, though, it's going to feel bad for him, as he's not going to get anything at all, I think.
Somehow he'll get an op.
He'll just
no op.
He just opens a
somehow.
barrel somewhere in mid and finds one.
Easter egg.
So he just ends up with a deagle that got dropped to him from somewhere. Good opening. Molotovs here from OpTic should flush. Actually, no, they're not deep enough, it seems. So Toy's able to still sit behind sandbags and whatnot. But OpTic are going to care because most of their players are still trying to push out here through mid choke and get their way over out. As they even boost up a player on logs too. Rush out of position a little bit there. Ends up knocking off like 40 HP from Tarek. Blade finding a first kill, as does Aegis. And Freakazoid moving back in. It's a little bit chaotic here, but it's Rush that get the better of it after everything. So Naf is left in a 1v3. He still has bomb control, but no, actual map control to work with. So it's not even like he has a good clutch potential right now with 0 utility too.
Well, he definitely could, but Toy's playing it pretty smart in B. He's giving up B, but he's going to let him know if he plants or anything and holds construction control. Then he also has a molly to, any type of post plant. He should be able to molly him out or something like that. And after just quick reactions, unfortunately, it's a dead body.
So he's going to swing back in, and Silent is kind of circumnavigating away from this. He may end up with his back turned, though. Looking good right now, though. As Naf goes for the peek,
How does he know he's there?
he finds that kill, and he's even going to throw this faux flash out onto A to try and keep Little Man in his position for a little bit longer. I'm not sure if he knows the Toy is already low or not, but he does make the decision to kind of route his way in here towards B to catch him out of position. But Toy, again, actually playing in a pretty good spot right now to try and counter him back out, still playing passively inside of the church, and is just going to wait this one back out so we can call for Little Man, fakes the plant just in case he was hiding in one of these further back spots. Again, as you know, time is very low currently, so he needed some way to flush him out, and now he's got to go for it. Time is extremely low, so this may actually make Toy go for it. He's kind of wrapping out, but
him by now when he was planning 100%.
But now he sits back behind Newbox and looks for the 1v2 clutch. Little Man's going to have to go all the way up to the site to challenge him. He's given time to react to Toy, so now he knows where he's playing from here. The nade sends him out, though, and with good play from Little Man, it does allow for Rush to still win the round.
So in that, Toy did not play that right. So when it's the 1v3, what he did is the right way to play. Except for like the last 5 seconds, he could still peek him. When it's 1v3. But when it's 1v2 like that, he should have killed him at some point there. And actually like fully committed to the peak. I know they won the round, but like you're giving them an out to get the bomb down and play post plant at triple. That's not the right play. In 1v3, it's fine. You could kind of give him that out because, even if he's a triple and you have that molly, like it's a lot easier to win the round. But 1v2, I don't agree with that. I think you should definitely try to kill him when he's planting the bomb and just kind of walk up on him when there's 5 seconds left.
Well, OpTic being able to still get the plant, not shying away from their buys just yet. Naf did have to downgrade himself to a Tech 9, but everybody else is back on over here towards an AK. And while they are being aggressive early on in the apartments here, Aegis realizes it, falls back to the site. But most of them are kind of prepping up to push over here towards Banana. Just holding back and running down the timer a little bit here as they wait to see if Rush will try and do anything on the opener of the round. Not to be the case, though. Blade just sitting behind sandbags.
That nade almost landed right on his head.
But he just manages to get out of the way of it, so no damage is going to end up being done.
Poor guy. This poor guy, man.
So he crouches out. At 3-20, rough life for Blade, dude. As he goes down first again. No room at all. And now they're being pressured on both sides, too. But B is certainly going to be the smarter option considering the numbers. It's up to Toy to play this out. He's hiding behind the crypts. I think the smoke is going to send him back, however. At least just playing and waiting to make sure that OpTic are actually going to move in here and plant the bomb. Rush have started to move their A players off. So they are biting into this. They did realize the situation that is set against them here. And so there is really not a whole lot of room for half-guessing on these things and trying to play safe. They have to go all in, or they risk losing the round, and it's a good shot.
Oh, he spammed
Toy.
him.
Did he really?
No, he spammed
Oh,
him.
holy crap, he did from inside of the church. He destroys Freakazoid, is able to realize his position, so that's good from Toy, and he's just going to keep going at it here now, too. That brings us down to a 4v4. There's still a lot of work to be done and a lot of control to be taken back. They're going to move back in as this does give them room in the garden. Rush hanging out back over here by Emo, though. Gets one. It was past the pole for a second before being traded up by a Little Man, and now Terra catching them on the cross. It's down to Silent. He can't get anything everything done, and it does end up being OpTic that claim control of the first map here on Inferno. They'll take it and immediately go up 1-0 for the night.
A real upset there.
Couldn't have seen that one come.
See what Vendetta has to say.
But yeah,
Take it away, boys.
All right, yeah. So let's immediately send it back over to our analysis desk to close the discussion on map number 1.
Well, I mean, I think right off the bat, I think Dace was correct in his prediction. Start of the Battle of the Century right there.
That was the Clash of the Titans. We've only seen that matchup one other time this season.
Yeah,
but
and
that was definitely more than that.
Oh, for sure. And we're going to get part 2 of it, obviously, in a few minutes.
No, in all reality, with all due respect, Rush being that Mountain Dew League team that comes up, they play in the Pro League, to go against OpTic, even in their weakest form, OpTic still has that firepower. They still have that experience. You know, what's crazy to me is OpTic playing with less team play than you would expect, but Rush playing with even less team play than that.
Yeah, no, it is quite the impressive feat, to put it that way. Not necessarily in a good way. Yeah, and obviously, if you're Rush in that kind of a situation, you can't allow for that to happen. You need to have some sort of up on OpTic, and the only way you're not going to obviously have the advantage in terms of individual skill in this matchup. So you'll have to do it through teamwork, actually strategic planning, and how you execute it, right? And that was just nowhere to be found.
It just didn't come together that way.
No, it didn't. I think you see more like plenty of situations actually where Rush players have rotated about rounds, kind of messy, and then you end up in a situation where they just start shooting at each other because they have no idea what's going on around them.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Situational awareness will save you. Let's take a look at round 7 now. What we're going to coin a slowtation per Eric DeBear Stromberg.
Yeah, so with 15 seconds left, Tarek just valiantly defending this B bomb site. But the big thing here is that look at how many OpTic players are on that A bomb site still. There's 7 seconds left, and this is when the rotations start coming over towards the B bomb site. Obviously, like Eric talked about this in the pregame clip that he showed of OpTic, the fact that they're relying more on individual skill more than they are in team play. And that's just a perfect showcase of just that, because there's no way Tarek, with that little time left, with the fact that they've had sound cues and whatnot, that he should still be alone on that bomb site. He should have some help nearby to the point where he gets one frag and then somebody's there to actually help get a return or something. They're still actually going to win the round. So, in the end, no harm done, but this is OpTic just solely relying on individual skill carrying them through rather than actually having, the team play aspect of the game shine through.
And even here at the end of this round,
Silent.
I mean, just a hair of the crosshair itself kept that from being different.
Yeah, it was definitely close. I think in a situation like that, Silent probably can pull up that P250 and just gun at him. Probably didn't know what kind of HP the last OpTic member was at, and maybe that's why he goes in with the op. Obviously, hard to know in his case, but yeah, definitely could have gone differently from Rush. But I think in the end, wouldn't have made all that much of a difference, considering how everything played out.
I almost want to say that these players look very, very nervous. Like we saw several instances where there was a little bit of TKing here. Maybe
Quite
just
a few, actually.
Just like a whip, just real quick. Oh man, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
And we look at a player from the Rush side. We've got Blade. If we pull that up, 3-20 didn't pan out so well for him. But in all reality, it just kind of fits the trend in what happened.
I've never seen a survival rate percentage before.
That is actually new one to me. It's
that is
probably
pretty brutal.
Made up on the spot just for this match, if I had to stand corrected.
That's rough, man. That's gonna be the Blade stat from now on.
It's gonna be a rough one. Well, we do have one other map here.
Yeah.
We've got OpTic and Rush on one other map. The last map of the night, we're going to go into Overpass.
Yeah.
And
I think it's going to be rough waters still for Rush, honestly. And that's given, we talked about it when we've had Overpass earlier. It's a team-centric map, and the fact that, you benefit a lot from team play. And even if OpTic doesn't have that, I think they're still going to be fine.
Well, I mean, our best analyst on the case said it, so it must be true. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we've got the last match of the night. It's OpTic and Rush on Overpass.